All right, well, locally here, very locally here, we've got two pretty good programs in West Holmes and Hiland. Both of those teams can ball, and they're both got tons of talent back again this year. So what can West Holmes fans expect from this year's contest with Kenton Ridge and Pickerington Central?
Well, first, I think you can remove pretty good and insert great programs. And for both West Holmes and Hiland, what we try to do with their matchups here at the Classic is, one, what teams will help them prepare for March, as well as what teams will help them answer questions that they have a void on their roster due to graduation. And so if for West Holmes, you look at, the questions that have to be answered is, they've had the luxury of Molnar running the point for the last several years, and they like to push the ball up the floor. So who's going to really push it up the floor for them? And they've had the tremendous luxury of All-World Lena Snyder, who afforded them the opportunity to get out early in transition because she was going to sweep everything off the glass, and as well provide she's going to protect the rim and be the last line of defense virtually by herself there. As well as a question that they have is who can step up and be the third consistent scorer for them. So if you take those questions and you look at their matchups, Kenton Ridge is a team that wants to outscore you. They're going to push the ball. They have busted the clock 100 points or more than any other team in the state. Ed Folk has been there a long time. He's retired from teaching but still coaching. And it's all about possessions with them. They are going to really push the basketball up. They're going to get quick looks in transition. And it's going to force West Holmes to rebound the basketball. And as well, West Holmes wants to push the ball back. And so that's going to be a question there. The defensive pressure that Molnar was able to apply on the perimeter along with the other seniors are they going to be able to apply that kind of pressure against a transition team, which as they progress in the state tournament, they're going to face teams like Rogers and things like this. You take their second game, and it's going to be against Pickerington Central on Monday. And Pick Central is much bigger than West Holmes this year. They have their own version of Lena Snyder in Bexley Wallace, the freshman, who is an extraordinary player. And they got two high-quality guards in Taylor Johnson and Katrina Williams. Pick Central will probably be the best team that West Holmes will face, through the year. They have great size, great quickness, and it will help them answer those questions of who's going to fill that void.
Okay, moving on to the Hiland Lady Hawks here. They've got Reynoldsburg, a team that we're very familiar here with at the Classic, and New Carlisle, Tecumseh. What do those teams bring to the table?
Well, Hiland has some questions as well. One, can they defend in the post?
Yeah.
Two, can their backcourt handle, relentless defensive pressure? And three, can they score consistently from the perimeter because they have no post presence inside? So if you look at their two opponents and answering those questions, Reynoldsburg, great size. You look at Jalinda Sally at 6'3", and she's a load and she's skilled, although she is a freshman. Zari McBride at 6'1", can step outside and shoot it, and is an athlete extraordinaire. You look at their freshman point guard they have, Aaliyah Hughes, is as quick as any point guard as there is in the state, and can apply just relentless pressure along with her sophomore backcourt mate, Mackenzie Davis. So Hiland's, a lot of questions will get answered with Hiland in terms of being able to defend in the post and finding people that can score consistently from the perimeter, and as well whether or not their young backcourt can handle defensive pressure. Then you look at their second opponent. Tecumseh, Division I school, that Tecumseh may never win the district and get to the regional, but I guarantee you they spoil it for somebody every year. Coach Danielle does a great job with them there. They have a post player as well that is more skilled than any of the post players that Reynoldsburg has. And so once again, Hiland's going to have to figure out how to defend in the post. Not as big, 6 foot, but country strong. And they have quality guard play as well in Danielle Franklin, about 5'8", that plays the point. So they got good size at the point, and they got a very skilled player inside. And so Hiland is going, and being a Division I school, is going to pose a problem for Hiland. It's going to help them answer some questions.
All right, so we've looked at the competition. Let's take a closer look at these two local teams' talent that they've got coming back. Both teams lost a lot to graduation. Both teams have some pretty good quality caliber players coming back.
They do. I like at West Holmes, they I think having Britley McCauley along with Hannah Clark, people don't understand how good they really are. Because if you look at it, Hannah Clark is probably as improved a player as there is in the state of Ohio. She has worked hard at her game and made herself a legit college Division I prospect. And what a lot of people don't understand is McCauley led them in scoring many times last year. So I like those two as being the impact players, and for Coach Lisa Patterson to build around. If you look at Hiland, on the other hand, the question becomes, can Megan Beachy step in and fill the role that Regina Hochstetler had last year as the primary? And then the other question is, at the point guard with Kennedy Slaybach, is quite skilled and quite capable in the backcourt, but as a freshman running the point, you're going to have to live and die with her. And Dave has shown that he has done that and brought his point guards along in the past. Because if you recall, when Lana Hochstetler was a freshman, he lived and died with Lana. Yeah. And things turned out to be pretty good with her.
Not bad.
Then came along Hillary Weaver. He lived and died with Hillary her freshman year. Things turned out pretty well with Hillary at the point. And I think he's going to have to do the same thing with Kennedy. Is just live and die with her. She's going to be fine because she is as good a point guard as he's had here since those two.
Now, when we talk programs in the state of Ohio and girls basketball, and any basketball for that matter, at the high school level, West Holmes and Hiland both right there at the top, just loads of victories under their belts. Both Coach Patterson and Coach Slaba have done a tremendous job. What's kind of the common denominator between their coaching styles?
Well, as you're quite aware, both are very different in their style. Both are very different in their personalities, and both are very different in their philosophies. But both coach in accordance with their own personality. They coach in accordance with their style, and they never deviate or give in opposite their philosophies. And both are tremendous specific game-specific planners. They're as good as there is in the state, and both of them have their entire roster ready to play. And so when graduation happens or an injury happens, both Coach Patterson and Coach Slaybach, they have this next girl up mentality because all their kids are ready to step in and play. And that's a sign of just an excellent program. And the other thing, too, is that for both of them, winning is a byproduct of how they do things. They do things the right way. They build it on a solid foundation with youth programs. They develop their players, and winning becomes a byproduct of how they run their program. So, both of them have exceptional youth programs. Both of them have exceptional staffs. Both work tirelessly at their craft. And the thing, too, that people don't really get to see is that both genuinely care about their players.
Yeah. I think both are public schools, which is obviously a hot debate between public and private. But the fact is that both of these teams, being so close to the classic in the country here, bring something special, an aura, because they both bring a ton of fans to the games and they help pack the gyms out. Those last couple games of the classic with those two, featuring those two teams, fun to watch because the place is always packed. You know, what have those programs kind of brought to the state in terms of Ohio girls basketball?
Well, this will be the 40th high school state tournament this coming year. And so that's 40 years. If you take girls basketball in 40 years, no county has had more of a impact and has historical significance on the game of girls basketball than Holmes County, with these two schools of West Holmes and Berlin Highland. If you look at all-time wins of teams, both of them are in the top 5. Berlin Highland at 4 with 722, and West Holmes at 5 with 705. And so what you're looking at is two of the top-notch programs that have had consistency throughout. You have two stable coaching staffs that have assumed the helm at both schools. Dave, obviously, for a little longer than Lisa, but Lisa has really resurrected that program from the days of when she played, when they reeled off about 88 in a row. And so they have done those, like I said, this county has more historical significance and greater impact than any other county in the state of Ohio. As far as the, you know, they do things the right way, you know, because it's one school towns, and the key to it, they're not going to have athletes move in, they're not going to have open enrollment, they're not going to have all that stuff that goes on in the suburban and city schools. So what you have to do is just build your program on a strong foundation and develop your players. And Coach Patterson and Coach Laibach are as good as there is in the state doing that.